my God. Wow. The fine wine. He only gets better with age. I get to say it now for my favorite team, the New York Mets, because Justin Verlander has signed a 2-year contract worth $86.6 million with the New York Mets. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. This is awesome. We just got the American League Cy Young Award winner to replace the guy who is the best pitcher in baseball, Jacob deGrom. There's not many other options that could have been that good to fill in the shoes, fill in the hole that Jacob deGrom left with this organization when he signed with the Rangers. But Justin Verlander, coming off of one of the best seasons of his career, a Cy Young Award winner in the American League off Tommy John surgery, which you just never hear of. I absolutely love it. I love it. I've been dying. I've been praying. I've been hoping forever, ever since I can become a Mets fan. And I said this a few off seasons ago too, when Steve Cohen became the owner for the first time. All I want is a Mets owner who is going to spend. I don't even necessarily need to be the smartest decisions, just spend money, because for the longest time, as I was a Mets fan, and as many of you who are Mets fans or even just baseball fans know, the Wilpons were the owners of the Mets, and they would spend money terribly. They wouldn't spend money at all. They'd spend it in the wrong places. It just wasn't very smart. There was no reason for it, and then they became very cheap. Like, if the Wilpon era Mets would have lost Jacob deGrom this offseason, I'm sure our big signing would have been bringing back Chris Bassett or re-signing Carlos Carrasco. But no, instead, we go out and we get who is the best pitcher on the market, or at least the second best pitcher if you think Rodon's the best, which is very possible, by the way. I really do want Rodon with the Mets. It's probably not going to happen. But they went out and got one of the best pitchers available on the market, coming off a Cy Young season, a big game pitcher, although World Series, it's a little bit up for debate. I'll worry about the World Series when we get there. We haven't seen that since 2015. I'm not going to count my eggs before they hatch. But I mean, Justin Verlander, like, this is really good. Again, I've wanted Mets ownership to spend. They did. This is kind of the first time that we've seen Steve Cohen's owned Mets go under what I would call, I don't want to say like adversity, because this isn't really the right word, but I think this is the first time that we're seeing them have to figure out what to do when a star player leaves, because last season was a little bit different signing Scherzer. There wasn't this major star player leaving. This year we saw them re-sign their star closer to the biggest contract for a closer in Major League Baseball history. They lost deGrom, but they went out and got the Cy Young Award winner, gave him a ton of money to match the highest annual AAV for a pitcher, tied with Max Scherzer, who is also a part of this Mets rotation. I desperately want them to go out and spend money on Brandon Nimmo. I think he is so important. I've said from the beginning, I think he is the most important guy to bring back to this roster. You need a good center fielder. Brandon Nimmo is elite. He is elite. You heard it. Great defense, great offense. They need to bring him back. And to be honest, I think this Verlander signing does signal that that's probably something that's going to happen, or at least that the Mets are going to continue to spend, because now you're smashing through the luxury tax. You're spending all this money, and you see that it's a 2-year contract for Verlander. Very important. He does have a 3rd-year vesting option, but this 2-year deal is super important because him and Scherzer are here for the next 2 years, guaranteed, getting paid $173 million, I think, to those guys combined the next 2, which is a crazy amount of money. I think I saw something from Danny Vietti where he said Max Scherzer got paid like $20,000 a pitch last year, and Verlander's going to get about the same. But you've got those two guys. You've got Pete Alonso, who doesn't become a free agent until 2025 offseason. Jeff McNeil doesn't become a free agent until 2025 offseason. James McCann's gone by that year, so that's some more money off the books. Canna and Escobar won't be around for that, most likely. A lot of their arms will not be around. And 2025 is the big offseason year, of course, because Juan Soto. I feel like this sets the Mets up perfectly to be in a scenario where they're pushing to win right now, because let's be honest, when you have 2 older pitchers, Justin Verlander's 40, Max Scherzer's 38, 39 years old, they're old pitchers. There is obviously that concern with the age. But when you get old guys like that to pitch, they're still good, by the way. You have to spend. You have to put the infrastructure around them to win, because otherwise you're just paying old guys to stick around and not win anything. So to me, as a Mets fan, I'm really excited, and I think you can take some excitement out of this, although I think you probably already are. But I think you can be even more excited because this signals to us as a fan base that the Mets are going to spend. The Mets are looking to win now. Steve Cohen talked about that 3 to 5 year window. I think it's these next 2 years. I think the way that these contracts and all the players on this team set up, the Mets have these next 2 years to win a World Series with this roster, with this core, which, by the way, is a very good core. Again, we'll go through it. Scherzer, Verlander, Alonso, McNeil, Lindor, Marte. Hopefully Francisco Alvarez plays well. Brett Beatty. I mean, there's a lot of good prospects that will be a part of this core over the next 2 years as well. Now it's about finding the pieces that fit around them. The Mets need a center fielder. I want Brandon Nimmo. Make him the center fielder. I don't want anybody else. I want Brandon Nimmo. I don't know if they really can get anybody else. It would be like Brian Reynolds, but I'd rather just go pay Brandon Nimmo more money. You start to get some bench pieces because we definitely need some bench depth. Maybe another power bat to help out with that DH situation. You get some more bullpen arms. You get more starting pitchers. pitching arms like Jameson Taillon. Maybe you re-sign Chris Bassett. Maybe you bring back Taijuan Walker. Maybe you go after some other pitchers to get more depth. You look how a lot of the teams that have won recently have been built. Even the Braves a few years ago, they got production out of everybody. Everybody on that 26-man roster made an impact, made a contribution, and even more so into the minors, a deep AAA team. Just fill out this roster with more and more players. Go get me Carlos Correa. Why not? Go put him at third base. I don't care. Let's get crazy. It's not our money, Mets fans. We've been dying for this forever, for our owner to spend whatever it takes to win. And at least it looks like Steve Cohen is going to do that. Because again, it's obvious more than ever now, especially with this Verlander signing, that the problem with the Jacob deGrom thing and why they didn't end up bringing him back was the length of the contract. The money was not the problem, and I think that was something that might have concerned Mets fans as you see Jacob deGrom leave for under $40 million a year, and you go, are the Mets just not going to pay anybody? Are they going to be cheap? No, they spent it on Justin Verlander. It is not about the money. It was about the length of the contract, and the Mets clearly see this 2-year window right now before the Juan Soto offseason where they can go balls to the wall, spend a lot of money, get really good players in here, and try to win a World Series championship, bring it back to Queens, which I absolutely love. I absolutely love. I would love to jump around and scream and all that, but I actually just got a new mic. I got one of those like Shure mics, and I'm not sure how it will react to me not being this close to the camera because it is right down here as you can see. So I'm still testing it out. Maybe you guys can let me know how it sounds. I hope it sounds great. I just recorded about 7 minutes and 35 seconds worth of me yelling and screaming, so I hope it came out good because I'm going to be tired, but I think it is really, really encouraging as a Mets fan that they went out and got Justin Verlander. I don't think there's a question about what the direction that this team is going for, going towards. We know what it's going to be. They're trying to win now, and this is a move that signals it. And I do not think they're done. I do not think they're done. I think they're very much in on Brandon Nimmo. Maybe they'll go after Aaron Judge. That's crazy. It's crazy. I'm going crazy. My team's never spent this kind of money. Just let me be like annoying like a Yankees fan for just like 5 minutes. Maybe they go after an Aaron Judge. Maybe they go after Carlos Correa. I would say Trey Turner, but as I'm recording this video, I see that he just signed a massive deal with the Phillies, which is unbelievable, and I'll talk about that in a separate video later. I'm sure if you made it this far, you're probably not a Phillies fan, so those of you who did, keep an eye out for it. You can hear my breakdown of what I think about Trey Turner to the Phillies. Would have loved him on the Mets. He's really good. But I think that this is a really, really good sign for the Mets. I think this was a good move. It's not the best move of all time. Of course, Verlander is older. He's 40 years old. That is a legitimate concern. Just like I said with deGrom and the health stuff, one of the things to be concerned about is Verlander's age. We now have our 2 top starters, 40 and 38 or 39 years old. That's a concern. That's one of the things that goes on the con side. But all the pros completely outweigh the cons because you're getting the American League Cy Young Award winner, who is a Hall of Fame pitcher, to go up with the Hall of Fame pitcher we got in Max Scherzer, who, when he's healthy and on the mound, is one of the better pitchers in baseball. The Mets are better right now than they were yesterday. This is an improvement on the roster that we have right now. Is the team better with Justin Verlander over Jacob deGrom? That's yet to be determined. I'm not going to be the guy to say yes or no right now, but Justin Verlander looked so good last year. He was there, he was healthy, he was pitching, and he's now a part of the New York Mets. I am super, super happy, super excited, and I would love to know what you guys are thinking down in the comment section below. Do you like the Verlander signing? Give me your pros and cons. I'm going to be replying to comments, so if you want to interact with me, get in the comments down below. Tell me what you're thinking. I'm going to be replying. Remember to drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, as well as subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you. Follow me on all my social media at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. For those of you who made it this far, it's a Band-Aid. I got a cut on my face, so we got to put a Band-Aid on there in case you were wondering, and I'll give you that little tidbit of information 8-9 minutes into this video. Hopefully I can take this thing off soon. It's very annoying when I talk, especially with like beard hair, if you can even call this a beard. But yeah, I have to record this Trey Turner video and get this Verlander video out, so I'm gonna stop talking and I'll see you guys in like a few hours for when this Trey Turner video happens. Just please, no more moves today. I don't need any more moves. I'm gonna get 2 videos out in under 12 hours. Save it for tomorrow, please. But also, it's so sick when the hot stove is cooking. Let's go LFGM. Let's go Mets, baby.